This is Television Nigerian, a broadcast network committed to serving you the very best in online and offline television programming. Situated in the serene environment of Guzape, Abuja FCT, TVN, as it is fondly called, caters to a wide variety of audience via carefully orchestrated mind-blowing programs in the areas of fashion, business, politics, entertainment, religion, movies, food and health, culture and lifestyle, events around the globe, sports and foreign news. Whatever your inclination, we've got you completely covered with programs like Issues of the Moment, The Patriot, Daybreak Nigeria, Matter Africa, TVN Business Time, Healthy Living, From the Cradle, Stay Inspired, Entertainment Gist, Movie Hour, Hits Paradise, among others. All designed to keep you thoroughly informed, entertained, at the edge of your seats and yearning for more. A tour around our domain will reveal a highly dedicated staff force and a state-of-the-art facility and equipment for high-definition quality broadcast, making our station your number one choice in advertising your business and propagating your ideas. We are currently on NigComSat doing our test transmission for takeoff in the nearest future. Television Nigerian is located in Nigeria at Television Nigerian House, Guzape Hilltop Mansion, beside Guzape White House, Guzape Abuja FCT, and in the United Kingdom at 45 Ancient House, 48 Aerodrome Road, Beaufort Park, Colindale, London.
Welcome to Press Talk on Television Nigerian. I am Daniel Atai. And with me to discuss the headline news this morning on the dailies is
Ade Dela. Good morning, Nigerians.
Ade Dela. Maybe I have to start with you. Maybe you begin with the Punch newspaper there. Let's see what the Punch have for us today.
All right, straight up. On the Punch newspaper, we have Nigeria overtakes US as India's fourth biggest oil supplier. That's on page 17 of the Punch newspaper. Then you see there next to it, you see Osibanjo demands sanctions for fraud, extortion, bribery in government agencies.
It's a good one.
That's a nice one on page 8. We have been waiting. Who's going to do this now? Biafra above Kano's capacity to decide, says Ohaneze.
Okay.
21 million subscribers still without NIN, says Telecos. And the big headline over there, SANS, Afenifere backs Akeredolu, fourth presidency.
The Northern Elders Forum
disagrees. That's on page 2 of the Punch newspaper.
Then it carries sub-headlines like Akeredolu acting within his power. Akeredolu acting within his power. Sorry. So Akeredolu acting within his power. Ali, you find the writers there. Don't politicize security. SANS tells FG, that is Senior Advocate of Nigerians. It says FG should not politicize security issue. Now, FG shuns Southwest governors. Southwest governors alarm on herdsmen menace, says YCE. You get the headings, and then when you get the paper, you know who are those saying that FG should shun Southwest governor's alarm on herdsmen. Buhari shows no pretense that he is representing Fulani interests. And that statement is coming from the Afenifere, the socio-cultural and traditional group of the Yoruba nation. And you see in the photo speak a very big celebration far away from the United States of America, where bidding demands end to divisions, signs executive order reversing Trump's policies. Which are the policies of Trump that executive order 1 of Joe Biden will have to what? Reverse. We paid for Ilorin Nude Party, arrested mastermind in bank. That is what police is saying in page 8 of the Punch newspaper. Then Osum bans parties, vigils, restricts gatherings, reintroduces curfew. That is Osun State. I think a kind of measure still on page 8 to curb the spread of the new wave of coronavirus. And you can see with that photo speaks again where Biden, Kamala Harris and his wife, all of them were being sworn in. And of course, I think America have gotten a new president after Donald Trump. And below that picture, you have Ekiti establishes 5 billion naira snail farm, project 6 billion naira annual profit. Have you heard about snail farming before?
Yes, I've heard about snail farming. I know there's a lot of profit in snail farming, yes.
5 billion naira snail farm,
yes.
Project 6 billion annual profit. Is it that at the end of the year, 1 billion will be the profit or 6 billion will be the annual profit? That means they're going to be exporting the snails.
People eat a lot of snails, just like other animals.
Edo NDLEA seizes 15,253.82 kilograms of cannabis, cocaine, tramadol, 10 cars. That is the new Director General of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, retired Brigadier General Buba Marwa. I think he hit the ground running against drugs. Minor bail request to evade trial, flee to U.S. EFCC. That is, EFCC is alleging on page 25 of the Punch newspaper that minor bail request is to evade trial. Minor bail request to evade trial, flee to U.S. EFCC. That means minor has. You can check that story vividly on page 25 of the Punch newspaper. Are they what you have?
He has already jumped bail. That's what it means.
Yes, and I would like us to react to this.
Shibanjo,
the
demands.
In fact, the three powerful headlines on top the Punch. First of all, it said Nigeria overtakes U.S. as India's 4th biggest oil supplier. Well, U.S. was the biggest, and now Nigeria has overtaken U.S. to supplying oil. That is supposed to be economic progression to us, but we are actually over-depending on oil business instead of, though this administration has diversified, and
we need to be hearing more about the diversification
yes.
of the economy.
Not hearing and seeing more now.
Yeah, seeing more because this issue of this oil, very soon we all know that the oil.
And
the world will not depend on oil too much anymore.
Yes, very soon. Some countries have moved from oil already. Very soon, in the next 10 years, you will see electric cars, solar
headline,
cars everywhere.
If you think about this headline very well, Nigeria overtakes US as India's fourth. It's because US have other stocks.
Yes, they have invested
in other stocks.
Solar.
So the market is now open for us.
Yeah, solar cars, electrical cars, and so on. So it's not as if they purposely did it or they've gone down. And again, the issue of Trump could hit hard on them. The issue of Trump, because a lot of people that put their investment in U.S. shares, a lot of them will withdraw.
Yes.
Because they want a sanitized government that should continue so that they will make gains. People invest to make gain. Now, Osibanjo demands sanctions for fraud, extortion, bribery in government agencies. This is as good as this may seem. Are there mechanisms of implementation, of enforcing these demands? Osibanjo demands sanctions for fraud, extortion, bribery in government agencies.
Before you even talk about mechanisms, let's even think if we were to start, which agencies are you to start with first? Yeah, so that we use the mechanisms we have on ground to tackle those ones first, as an example. Just like it's like a purge. Take a few agencies and purge them.
Yeah, exactly.
Purge them, and you begin to use them as examples. You will find out that it will become easy. Some of those people might begin to...
And those who are to sanction the offenders,
yes,
should be people with dexterity to serve the nation patriotically, not people who could also compromise by taking bribes. When you talk of extortion, apart from government agencies, even on the roads, the Nigerian police,
it's a government agency.
It's a government agency. How are you going to stop those ones on the street, on the road? Well, without evaluation, in fact, they have been emboldened to even do it before you, not even scared. Whether I was asking myself that, have we become Indian? Hey, this is India when we used to watch Indian film when we were young. We used to see how police collect bribes, And now we are seeing them physically on our roads. That's notwithstanding, we pray this works. So Biafra above Kano's capacity to decide, says Ohaneze. That is page 7. Ohaneze is saying that Kano is not a leader and Kano cannot in fact, that they have dissociated themselves from Kano, aligning with the government that, yes, they recognize is nothing like Biafra. I think that is what this language signifies or stands for.
Do you think that's a good one, coming from Ohaneze?
Yes, Ohaneze in the Igbo socio-cultural group, just like the Afenifere, they are still Nigerians. And if you have a socio-cultural body that would not align itself with the central government, it could be seen as aiding and abetting or accomplices to the crime against the nation when you talk about people bringing forceful ideologies for secession. But if somebody is agitating for emancipation, for secession per se, and go about it logically within the ambit of the law, to me, it's genuine. Because if you oppress me to a certain extent and I discover that, yes, I have been oppressed, I could agitate for my freedom. You understand? But I have to do that within, just like you saw Martin Luther King Jr. in America those days, using civil liberty laws, civil liberty organizations, civil and social organizations to ensure
religious groups.
Ensure that freedom comes to most of the blacks. And, messages that you pass, it is not the way some charlatans are doing it among the Biafran. that they are threatening, not only threatening, insulting people. When you just comment something, they will insult you. Nigerians is this, Nigeria is zoo, Nigeria is... There are better means of agitating for the freedom of your people, even if you want secession. You understand? There are better means, proper means. You have international bodies. You have, first of all, you can even start within the state, logically, principally focused on the objective that, yes, you have houses of assembly in the state. You can also participate in their sittings, you understand? Present memos. You have National Assembly representatives there. Give them memos. This is what you people want. And in association, you have number of people.
Are you
that
really
the government
sure
can,
that
these things are, yes?
they haven't done all those things?
No. I have not heard in anywhere where the the Biafrans submit memo to the National Assembly or to their state assembly that this is their demand, this is how they want to go about it. Logically, within the law, there are principal ways of going about agitations, and that is knowledgeable ways of going, not insulting, not forcefully. Force is usually the last option if you have exhausted all the options. We are watching, we know the history of the black Americans. We know the history of what is going on there, you understand, of how it happens, and so many other countries, even before war, came to settle many of those things. So we know those things. So they should go about it. So Ahaneze, okay, if we're talking about power shift to southeast and the division between Biafra and all those things are there, you know, it becomes so questionable and even very hard for them to be given that trust of any political party ceding their ticket to that region. You understand? So Hanese is beginning to put the house in order with this statement. That is what I am saying. 21 million subscribers still without need, says Telcos, that is the telecom industries, page 18. And of course, we were trying to get the app this morning.
No, we have the app.
You have the app already. I'm downloading the app. The app is ready. Viewers, in case you don't know, the National Identification Numbers, Commission, the NIMSI, they have the app already. You can download the app.
For mobile ID.
That is for mobile ID. It can harmonize you can register up to 7 numbers that are yours, that are legitimately yours through that app. But first of all, you must have the NIN. You must have your NIN to impute there in order to harmonize other lines, so that you don't need to go to MTN or wherever the telecommunication to look for how to merge your numbers. You could even do those things yourself. And then from what we've been talking about, I think we are beginning to get it right.
Yes.
Harmonization of biometric
when
data.
When we have that, we know that other things will follow.
Other things will follow. And by 2 o'clock, by the grace of God, we shall be discussing more on the 20 million Nigerians that the federal government wants to start what we call social security with. Of course, and they want to use this data analysis, the NIMSI, to get you paid. The NIMSI will be connected to your BVN, will be connected to your, if you have a driver's license, it will be connected to it. If you have international passport, it will be linked to it. So ensure you get your NIMSI registered and you download the app for effective identification and for other government businesses that you want to involve in. Then let's go to the next paper. The same, still on the Daily Sun, it said, Obiozo replies IPOB, opens up on Biafra, and it's still on the same rider that says that, says, matter beyond Kanu, Igbo not at war with Nigeria. You see, this one is explicit here, and that was what I was analyzing there. Is on page 8 of the Daily Sun. Igbo is not at war with Nigeria. That is a political about Biafran nation. Quit notice, the biggest headline there on the Daily Sun is quit notice to herdsmen in Ondo, Yoruba, northern elders, lock horns. That means they disagree. You see this.
The simple statement that of leaving the forest reserve of the Ondo State.
And look at this. Look at the bullet point there. That I think this is coming from Akeredolu. Say, I only asked unregistered herders to vacate forests, says governor. You understand? I only asked unregistered herders to leave forests. Then Fulani youths, Arewa elders, kick. Fulani youths, Arewa elders, kick. So you can grab the copy of the Daily Sun newspaper and get the stories in page 6. Yes, page 6. And this newspaper still carries the picture of Joe Biden with wife Jill being sworn in as the 46th president of the United States of America. And then you have, by the right, Vice President Kamala D. Harris with her husband, Douglas Emhoff, taking oath of office at the Capitol, Washington, D.C. yesterday. Wonderful one. Congratulations to America once again.
Congratulations, America.
America has proven to the world again that they can stand behind their constitution and the sovereignty of the country. And Joe Biden has a lot to do unifying the country now. The country was bastardly divided on traditional ground, on racial ground, mostly on racial ground. Just like what this Afenifere, Arewa, Northern Elders, Ndigbo, or whatever they are trying to do in this country. Because we are happy here because we have one colored skin, the black skin. If it is in a nation where you segregations of and sentiments of coloration persist in terms of racial bigotries, I don't think we will be talking what we are talking now, talking about the socio-cultural groups that tends to hit up the polity every day, every now and then, that we see on national dailies.
But if you think about it, we have a much more complex problem in terms of socio-cultural.
Oh, my brother, we don't have one problem.
No. I mean, in terms of, you know, America has a single language that they communicate with. If you look at our National Assembly, you see different people from different backgrounds trying to take a decision on behalf of a single country. You understand?
Yeah.
So to unify such a country like Nigeria actually takes more from our leaders, more than for a country like the United States of America.
Yeah. But you see, when there is something I am trying to get right here, everybody is coming against the presidency, the president, let me say, that why should he, make such statement by cautioning Akeredolu. The caution is good so that crisis will not begin from there.
No, that came from the presidency. Does not mean it came from Buhari.
Yeah, it came from the presidency.
It came from the presidency.
But Afenifere is saying Buhari. You see?
Now,
Afenifere is not even. Is Afenifere?
Now, when you narrow,
Buhari has shown himself to be that he's the president of the Fulanis. So what are you, or is representing the Fulanis?
And that's a sensitive statement.
That is a sensitive statement. A president and commander-in-chief, there is a way we think that because everything goes, we can utter statements anyhow. Everybody have freedom of speech, but your freedom of speech should not instigate war. Your freedom, even Trump that claimed he has freedom of speech, Twitter silenced him, even Facebook silenced him. You understand? We know freedom of speech. Those are the people that fought for freedom of speech. American liberty. If you are doing mass communication, you know how the libertarian theory came about. the theory of the freedom of speech, free speech. But even at that, it has censorship and areas it could not go through. Because you can't use freedom of speech to incite war. You can't use freedom of speech to incite segregation. What your constitution stands against, your freedom of speech should not bring it to play. We also, those advising the president, they should advise him on investigating and on the notion and psychological and psyches of the public first before uttering statement. If you are quick, though, people are not talking about the warning he gave to the Arewa youth, the Islamic youth, against when they issued a statement against Kuka to leave the north. You understand? But
the presidency also cautioned.
The presidency also cautioned the northern youth that they have no right to even tell Kuka to leave that region. So if we are balancing issue, the presidency is doing the work of safeguarding lives and properties, a proactive measure, so that people will not take laws into their hands by setting statement. But the governor of Oyo State have the full right, backed by the Constitution and the state law, to tell whoever trespasses over any area or forest reserve or land to be cautious, and that unregistered herdsmen must be registered. It's good. What stops you from getting your registration so that you could be monitored? After all, we're also doing NIMSI right now, isn't it? We are doing identification numbers we are getting now.
Go to the nations.
All right. Are we through with...
I think it's just repetition of those stories.
Okay. Get the Daily Sun. You have a lot of stories. Insecurity. Arewa leaders unhappy with Buhari, Bafarawa. So Arewa leaders, who are the Arewa leaders? Go to page 27. Well, we know that Nigerians more divided, one of the bullet points there, under APC government, Sule Lamido. Well, you see, this is the kind of statement that I said they politicize everything. Now they are blaming political parties, you understand, instead of blaming their attitude and characters. Somebody brought out one good mathematics using the alphabetical formula, A, B, C to Z, and bringing the word, each letter, and bringing the numeric stand for each letter. And the person statistically said that the word attitude, A for 1, T for so, just get the numeric number for T. And then by the time they calculate everything, it arrives at 100%. That is, attitude is the only guarantee if you want to build anything. If you want to build anything at all, get good attitude. So you have 100% focus on that stuff. Not even love, not even whatever. So if we want to build our country, we must begin with self-attitude, isn't it, Ade?
Of course, definitely. It's very important. Honesty also, built with honesty.
Yeah, even honesty is not 100%. What is 100% is attitude, by that alphabetical and numerical formula that defines what could make a nation or a people or a family, better than what they wear is attitude.
And you should also consider motivational speaking.
I'm a motivational speaker because I'm a journalist.
You should do more of that.
All right. Go to the nation and let's have the headline.
Okay, so Igbo demands justice in United Nigeria. That's on page 5, still on the Ohaneze warning Kanu. Ohaneze warns Kanu. You see, it's a rider over there. You have fake. Ok's 65 years exit age more pay for teachers.
Good. That is Federal Executive Council.
Yes.
Okay, 65 years exit age. That is retirement
age. And more pay.
And more pay for teachers.
For teachers.
Anyway, we'll talk about that.
Okay. COVID-19 situation. 2 Osun Exco members positive. Kano laments tougher second wave. Lagos tells
test
264,000 so far for virus. More deaths.
More death cases in Edo. That is page 6.
Page 6.
What a wonderful headline.
Wow.
Then the rider below it says, stop extremism, racism, Biden tells Americans. You can see. Stop extremism, racism, Biden tells Americans.
You know, yesterday during the live stream of this event, it was really very fantastic. You have Lady Gaga on the national anthem, and then subsequently you had Jennifer Lopez come to perform. It was really so spiced up.
Biden called the Nigerian household yesterday, Nigerian family, early morning of yesterday, and discussed with them for 12 good hours in the spirit of, harmonizing all. He said, America is a country of immigrants. So when Trump was referring to making some statement that he wants to return America to how it was to the Americans, that was why I was asking my GM that who were the Americans, and is Trump one of the real Americans, Native Americans? And if you are talking about returning America to Americans, you are talking about creating racial bigotry for another civil war, because we knew how the Americans fought the first civil war on how to bring their to control their states, and why they want to control each state before Abraham Lincoln. We know this history. So if they have come together as United States, even though they practice true federalism, each state has its own jurisdiction, but they practice federal system of democracy, isn't it? Federal system of democracy under true federalism, just the way we borrowed and we could not nurture it well now. Well, get the story from the Nation newspapers, but let's discuss a little on the Igbo demand and the other headlines, the 65 years exit age. Politicians don't retire, isn't it?
No, they don't.
Look at Biden now, I think 77. Our president, 76. The one that just left in US, Trump, 74. Now, even in US, the retirement civil age is what? 65, I'll be 64. So, if you are saying at so age, a civil servant is supposed to have retired, then what is the age limit for politicians? I think the country's constitution should look into that. We cannot continue to say that these our grandparents are the best. If the future must be maintained and must be sustained for any nation, the able-bodied youth and the educated youth, the capacities, the tenacities, the sagacities they have must always be tested. You can't be a youth and then they say tomorrow is for you, and that tomorrow never came, because your grandfather continues to occupy your space. Even the Holy Bible and the Holy Quran said, grow up like your teacher. Teach your child the way he should grow, so that when he grows, he will not turn over from what he has learned from you. And that it is also expected of a disciple or an apostle to be like his teacher. So, if what the former Secretary General of the UN, the late one, Kofi Annan said. He says that any nation that refuses to tap from the wealth of capacity and strength and to educate their youth, that nation will not have future. Read nations, study nations that have been existing over years, like this our country, Nigeria, and has not made any meaningful progress. It is because it jettisons new ideologies and it refuses to use the talent, the ideologies, and the knowledge of the youth.
But Nigeria is trying to do that now.
I'm telling you that we better start quickly. If you look at the common basic amenities and the quagmires that we found ourselves, it is because the elderly keep leading with their analog style of leadership. And all the time, even if you bring an idea of emancipation, they will collect the idea from you and say they are the ones to execute this idea because you are too young. Just the way, for instance, they are chancing Nnamdi Kanu. I know that one is for what? Peace, for the unity of the country. But you see, everybody that conceives an idea is capable, if empowered, to do what? To execute and implement that idea. So the country will need to move forward, and the retirement age should not only be 65, because politicians at 77, 79, 80 are still leading us, so there should be no age limit for retirement. What I would want them to do is that incorporate the civil service commissions to political offices so that they too can contest. I think the barrier has been lifted. They can contest and leave their work and go and be politicians too.
What happened in the last election? We saw a lot of youth coming out, including one of them, which you know very well now where he is. So we saw a lot of youth coming out. But at the end of the day, what happened? Is there an encouragement? Why are they encouraged? There need to be more orientation for the youth that are coming out, so that they don't come out in such a way that they become aggressive. You get what I'm saying? Because
the aggressiveness,
the aggressiveness is what we need, but positive aggressiveness, and not to begin to antagonize the government when they come. You understand? So such and such can only lead them into trouble as it makes them look as if they are tyrants.
They are not ready to lead.
Yes.
Well, there are also possible youth, positive youth who are ready to lead, to change things, but the elders would always, especially the elite, once you are not in tune with them and you could not be used, they'll be looking for one error or the other to tag you with, to incriminate you. I know what I'm talking about. And once they do that, they want to portray you before the masses that the struggle and agitation you have is not a peaceful one. They want to tag you with an error. Meanwhile, they love what you have initiated. It has been like that. And then it is that anger of misinterpreting your genuine intention.
Or being tried to be subdued.
Or to suppress you.
To suppress you.
To quieten you, to make you keep quiet. It is that anger in the youth that makes us, react with youthful exuberance.
Or what is termed as youthful exuberance.
Or what is termed as aggression.
Let's quickly move ahead.
So the justice for the Igbo nation.
Okay.
What kind of justice do you think the Igbo nation needs from united Nigeria? Igbo demand justice in united Nigeria. So the Nigeria is united now. So Igbo demand justice. Now, what kind of justice do you think could be given to the Igbo nation?
I think they should channel their grievances to the right authorities. Whatever it is that has been the problem, whatever justice that they demand, that they feel like they need, they should channel it. There's a government of today, there's a National Assembly. They also have people there. You understand? They should channel those things. And if there are steps, there are stages to these things, they should consult. There should be consultation.
All right. Let's move ahead with that. I don't like all these gossip stories. Look at Nigeria's debt below that nation's. Nigeria's debt may hit 60 trillion. And I think I'm seeing the picture of Mrs. Ahmed. Is it not? Yes, the picture of Ahmed. It looks like Haji Ahmed Farouk there.
Yes.
You understand? And so the
that story is on page 5.
The page 5. Bandits to drop arms after parley with Gumi and police. And of course, that story continues from page 6.
Yes, that's for all.
Continue on page 6. Abi?
Yes.
So you take the nation's newspaper and know. But Nigerians' debt may hit 60 trillion. Do we actually, just like what I was telling somebody yesterday, a medical doctor of mine, a friend from the United States of America, we're discussing some issues about COVID-19 and the vaccines, and whether they could give us a code here for us to, produce the vaccines and all those things. And it was like, Nigeria have everything, but they don't know. So Nigeria, as a country, we have everything. We are not supposed to be in need of anything. Have you saw what Jimmy Carter, the former president of America, said in the early 90s? Say Nigeria is richer than the whole world.
And we are.
Say Nigeria is richer than the whole world.
Just need to think about it.
He said the whole world. And when he was asked, I think he came to institute this school of, hospital, this of leprosy in the north. And he said it emphatically.
Let's look at this story quickly on this day. On the headline there, you say, reports backs FG's move to sell moribund assets.
Report backs FG's move to sell moribund assets. Well, and then another one there said Buhari. No, before that, Buhari. In new reforms, decentralization of police, tactical operation begins. Decentralization of police tactical operations begins in the new reform. Wow, this is good. This is good. That means what the Kogi State just began. Kogi State governor has Yaya Bello has begun is a community policing under the Police Act law that gives the state power to institute or to create their own arm of community policing. They are going to be using the uniform like the security expert on spectacle, AIG Wasin, was saying the other day. Our state, I think, so far.
But do you think that this police, there's a particular fear that everybody has, that this police, as they have been instituted by this state, by these states, will they not be in total submission, with the state?
Of course.
Not begin to use them as a tool to carry out their own,
whether we like it or not, the crime rate, and the social unrest in the country is beginning to overwhelm the secular and conventional security operatives that we have, especially the paramilitary. So we need community policing, whether it is going to be at the instance of the governors or not. From time past, the conventional police, have they not been at the instance of the FG and at the instance of state governors?
You support the community police?
Let it begin so that we'll have peace in our rural areas and in our states.
Let's move quickly.
Buhari counsels OMSS controversial what?
Controversial secure anchorage area contract.
Okay, secure anchorage area contract.
Yes.
You get that newspaper this day, and
then you have
understand.
EFCC may begin probe of bribery allegations by INE. the massa to take back security of ports?
EFCC should be given free hands to investigate whoever they want to investigate. I don't actually like the way they want to
control them, tell them what to do.
Politicize that EFCC arm. Democracy prevailed, says Biden, urges Americans to unite. I love this. I love this. You need, if you know what this man has come to do, and the Democrat, let me say, the party known as Democrat.
No, the Democrats have that flag of always trying to be Democrats. They were trying to be democratic as possible. You see that in play all the time. Anytime a Democrat is in power in the United States, everywhere becomes soft. America
is for everybody. America is for Americans. And just like Marcus Garvey of blessed memory said, you know, the history, when you study history of slave trade and slavery in America, you will know what the damage Trump was trying to do to this country that have put behind this racism, racial killings, Trump had wanted the institutions to become with racial coloration to drive it. I am telling you. So Biden wants to ensure that this country returns back to normalcy and to the tenet they so fought for and believe. I think we will stop here this morning on television Nigerian on the take on the newspaper headlines that we have given to you. Have a date with us tomorrow again as we'll continue to bring you more topical stories in the headlines for you to get the papers and read. I have been Daniel Atai and he is
Adi Dela.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.